Hello everyone, how's everyone doing? You guys doing good too? I'm doing good too. Let's get on today's video session. Here we go. How you guys doing today? I got another boy. Nintendo Switch Pro video. Yeah, how you guys doing today? Welcome back to my video session today. So in today's session, which is really important, we are talking about the Nintendo Switch Pro. Once again, in my previous video, I showed you what it can look like in photos. Now you got a sense of the look, what Nintendo's trying to do in his next upgrade Nintendo Switch Pro. Alright? In this video, I'm gonna give you full details what you can expect from it and what kind of stuff and changes does this new system really have. First of all, we're going to talk about the Nintendo Switch we have in present. What actually he did with it. As we know, this Nintendo Switch we got right now is handheld, tabletop, and TV. Okay, the handheld is 720p HD. Alright, tabletop is the same. But the way the TV mode they done in this system is completely different, isn't it? Because like what they're doing in the docking station they provide is just a piece of plastic, really, isn't it? There's nothing inside it, really. It's just like an empty case. So what the company did, they they used the device and they placed it from the top, didn't they? And then if you look on the actual the docking station or docking crate or whatever you want to call it, there was a HDMI port on there. Because the actual docking station doesn't have anything in there. It's empty, isn't it, really? It's just like the Nintendo Switch games console, right? That's got the screen, right? And when you put that in, and there's a game card inside the system, isn't there? So the game card in the system, and when you plug it through the HDMI cable from the docking station to the TV, that what makes it come on the screen, doesn't it? That's how it's done. Which is, well, it's good, it's interesting, but things are changing, aren't they? With with new technology. Everything is changing nowadays. If you look at this system, right, it's only just one screen, isn't it? There's not two screens on it. But in the previous, like Nintendo DS and Nintendo 3DS, they were dual screens, weren't they? But Nintendo Switch is just single screen. All right. You're probably thinking, why did the company even do that? It's just the way they just want to just make a handle mode machine, isn't it? They didn't even know the idea would have worked anyway, because Nintendo Wii U wasn't a great success and it became a flop, didn't it? But some of the games were still a hit on it. But Nintendo need to have a hit after Nintendo Wii U and the Nintendo Switch with the three modes. It actually worked. And all the three modes are from a tablet. They're coming from a tablet. Yeah, they come from a tablet, aren't they? That's pretty insane, isn't it? Everything which is getting connected is on the tablet. When we look at the handheld mode, he used the controllers to turn into a handheld, and the tabletop, he used the game controller, and for TV, you have to use a docking station to connect to the television. Now let's go further. The new system is using Nintendo Switch Pro. It's different, isn't it? If you look at the system carefully, the G-Con game controllers are redesigned. They're redesigned. Blue and black. The colors changed. That's the same color that he's used on his tablet again. Both of the designs look attractive from game controller to the tablet he's releasing. If you remember the pictures or photos I showed you, there were dramatic changes in there. Alright? In one picture, it shows that it's just a single screen, isn't it? But in there was one picture in there what I showed you. It showed there were two screens on there. Two screens. Now Nintendo's going back to dual screen again, isn't it? But in a big time this time. It's in a big way. You just have to see it, what it's doing to the system. If you look at the bottom screen, that is again 720p HD. Alright? Did you see there was another screen at the top? If I'm not wrong, the bottom screen is the same screen that we got right now. But the top screen, the second one, that's a different one. That is that's a mini LED display. The one I was talking about, where I was saying that these televisions were, I think, released or announced in October 2019. These are the same one which is coming in the new Nintendo Switch Pro. Alright? But in a small form factor. Because the televisions are really big, aren't they? Yeah, this is not going to be big as that, is it? We can see he's going to release two versions. Nintendo Switch XL, Nintendo Switch Pro. Both of these screens are going to be bigger than we got right now. I think what the company is trying to do this time is going to close like a clamshell design, like a laptop again, where the top screen is going to be folded to the second screen. And when you open the top screen, you get two screens out of it. Alright? So the top screen is a mini LED display, and the bottom screen is similar screen we got right now. This is presented in a handheld mode. Alright? If you look carefully at these photos as well, one is showing you is just a system that with just one screen, and another one is showing another screen at the top. Does that confuse anybody? What's going on there? Because I was getting a bit frustrated while I was showing on there. It seems to me this system is two different screens. It's coming on one system though. It probably is that you can use it like a handheld again, like the Nintendo Switch we got again, with a single screen, and then you probably can put another screen, which is a mini LED display at the top. He's probably going to do something like that. In some other probably titles, you're probably just going to use one screen, but some titles might use two screens, and then you probably can fix another screen on it. I wonder if it's something like that. Because if you look at one of the pictures I showed you where it says Nintendo Switch on there, it showed the G-Con game controllers, and it showed the tablet on there. Do you remember that one? Which was blue and black? But where was the second screen then? It wasn't there. It's quite frustrating, isn't it? Or it can be, there might be two versions to this as well. One can be Nintendo Switch XL, where it just can be the tablet. And the other one, which was called Nintendo Switch Pro, that might have two screens. There's loads of alternatives to this thing. We are thinking as if it can be a one screen, or it can be a two screen, or we can put another screen on top of it to make it dual screen ourselves. It's too early to say what's going on. What is the catch between the single screen and the dual screen? That's right now is very confusing. And I really can't confirm on that what's going on. Because if you look at one of the images, it showed that it was a single tablet on there. And you know at the back, there was a stand which said Nintendo Switch XL on there. So that system can be Nintendo Switch XL. And the Nintendo Switch always says Pro on there. That might be the more advanced version with two screens. It can be something like that. Okay, whatever the alternative is, we'll soon find out. Bit later on what's going on. So even Nintendo Switch Pro's got two screens. We can use that handled like a dual screen again. Alright? Okay. I think that is a similar thing that was Nintendo DS and Nintendo 3DS was doing. Where the game's at the top, the map's at the bottom. And stuff like that. And the other thing is that about the screen is that it's gonna be pretty high quality. Yeah, the mini LED display you're talking about. Because this screen is supposed to be really good. Okay. In terms of handheld, we got two screens. Even in tabletop, well, you're not gonna be able to see the bottom screen, are you? That's gonna be on the ground. That's gonna be on the table, isn't it? On the desk, whatever you call it. Because we will only able to see the mini LED display, which is the screen at the top, isn't it? We're not gonna be able to see the bottom screen, because if we're seeing like this, the way I'm seeing, look, I'm seeing like this, isn't it? Am I gonna be able to see the bottom screen? I doubt that. Unless I tilt down like that, yeah, I probably will. But I wouldn't be able to play that on any. But the real main screen is at the top, for even a tabletop. Okay? Now, something really that attracts me. Before we go into that, it's also been said the Nintendo Switch Pro we're going to get is still will be a 720p HD. But what is Nintendo on about? He keeps on about 4K. How is it 4K then? Because if the system's again 720p HD, right? What did the articles meant that Nintendo Switch Pro will shock the Sony PS5 and Microsoft Xbox Series X. What's all that about? Why would it shock you? You know what the shocking thing about this system is that? The shocking thing about this system is it's dual screen. Alright? That's the main thing I can see about it. And the top screen is mini LED display. That is a big thing, okay? And the next big thing is that something to do with 4K high definition graphics. How is this 4K? Okay, basically the Nintendo Switch games console is not 4K, okay? I repeat, the Nintendo Switch Pro is not 4K. It is again 720p HD once again. Right, the docking station which I showed you in the photos, that is 4K high definition graphics. If you look clearly at that docking station, there is no space for Nintendo Switch Pro. No. There is no space for it. Then how do the damn games work on it then? How does it work? I'll tell you right now, the Nintendo Switch Pro docking station has the full system in this station thing. It's got all the games console circuitry in the docking station. How can you tell? If you looked at one of my pictures, the docking station showed that it's a multi-card technology. You can put 4 game cards in this docking station. 4 cards in the docking station. So what's going on here? If you look at the first 4 slots is the game card, and the last one must be for the memory card. It's for your data save. What is all that about? Why is it like that? Because you cannot put the Nintendo Switch Pro games console in the docking station. So instead of that, they use the game cards in the docking station, right? So when you're gonna connect the HDMI cable from the docking station or TV, and you got a game card in there, it'll come automatically on the television, and you can play the games. It's actually like that. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It's a proper games console, this docking station is. Let's say this properly. It's a games console 4K high definition graphics docking station without needing a Nintendo Switch to go in there anymore. It's like a games console, the docking station is. That's what it is. It's totally incredible, man, what it is. I'm very surprised what Nintendo has done in this thing. Now we know the Nintendo Switch Pro games console is only a handheld and a tabletop modes. Okay? Now the Nintendo Switch Pro games console is not made to connect to TV. Nope. The docking station is the one which connects to a television. Because the whole games console is in the docking station. And that docking station is 4K high definition graphics. I think it's pretty big. Can you see what he's done? Because the Nintendo Switch we got right now, the docking station was just a plastic. Right? I didn't say one thing here. Because The Nintendo Switch we got right now, which was just a docking station, which was plastic, and you put the Nintendo Switch inside it, that gives you 1080p HD on TV, doesn't it? But you have to put the Nintendo Switch inside it in order to connect it to television and to give you 1080p HD graphics. But now, the Nintendo Switch Pro is just a handheld and a tabletop. And it separates the Nintendo Switch Pro games console, right? And the Nintendo Switch Pro docking station. They're both separated from each other now. First, the one we got around, they were connected to each other, weren't they? Not anymore. It's separated. That is what the Nintendo Switch Pro docking station is showing us, isn't it? That's why it's got game cards in there. That is why. If you look at the docking station we got right now, there's no game cards in that, because the games console is the device, and the game card and the memory card is inside the device. Can you see what's going on? Obviously, the Nintendo Switch Pro is going to do that as well. Obviously, yeah. But all that facility goes inside the docking station, because that docking station is not a games console. It's just plastic, isn't it? But it's just got a facility just to connect to television in 1080p HD. But now it's two separates, which the Nintendo Switch Pro games console is 720p HD, and the docking station is 4K high definition graphics. Now you understand the full concept of the Nintendo Switch Pro games console and the Nintendo Switch Pro docking station in 4K high definition graphics. Now you have a more insider what is Nintendo's plans are for Nintendo Switch Pro. I hope you guys like my video today, and it's been quite depth knowledge, and it's giving you more understanding what Nintendo's future upgrade system, what's it trying to do. And remember one thing, this Nintendo Switch Pro is not a Nintendo Switch 2. No, it's not. Nintendo Switch Pro is the upgrade system from Nintendo Switch we got right now. Okay, let's clear something else. The Nintendo Switch we got right now, it's selling really, really well. Okay, and even if you look at the Sony PS4 and Xbox One, right? For 2 years, every month, for 23 months, Nintendo Switch has kept on beating it every time. Even now, when the Sony PS5 and Microsoft Xbox Series X was launched, the 3 years old Nintendo Switch beat them as well. Alright? Which is quite convincing, pretty amazing. It's still selling really well. Nintendo Switch is the one we got right now. Now, the important thing is that it's doing really well, and it's got a big database to itself. They are not going to get rid of this system so easily, because it's really doing really well. And loads of people who own it, they're really happy with it. And the whole base is still going on with it. So they can't just get rid of the system. So they are going to keep this system for quite long. So will not be long. So the upgrade system, right? When does that come out? The Nintendo Switch Pro we're talking about. When does it come out? It will be at least 3 years. Yes. 3 years it will take to come out. Okay? Once this system is out, the Nintendo Switch Pro, right? After 3 years will be out. Then after the Nintendo Switch Pro, we will get Nintendo Switch 2. Can you see what's going on? We got Nintendo Switch right now. The upgrade system Nintendo Switch Pro comes in 3 years. And then after 3 years, after a few more years, you'll get Nintendo Switch 2. That's how this lineup of system for Nintendo Switch goes. Now you understand more of that as well, how the Nintendo Switch is going to come out. For Nintendo Switch Pro and Nintendo Switch 2. So I hope you guys like my video for today. And you understand that everything you need to know is being covered today by me. So there you have it. Give your likes, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye from now.